Hello everyone. So in this video we will study regarding the drugs that are used in COVID-19 plus the targets of these drugs and a bit more in detail the pathology of how this coronavirus infects our lung. So we already studied that this coronavirus infects the type 2 pneumocytes that are present in our alveolar lining. So this is a magnified view of our type 2 pneumocytes. Here the SARS-CoV-2 through its spike protein that has a receptor binding domain bind to the ACE2 receptor. Plus there is a transmembrane regulatory protein that is TMRPSS2 that helps in fusion of this virus to the host cell, that is the type 2 pneumocyte. So after this fusion with the help of ACE2 receptor, TMRPSS2 and the spike protein, the single stranded RNA genome of the virus, that is a positive sense RNA, gets inside of type 2 pneumocyte. And what further happens is this: with the help of host ribosome, this RNA of the virus starts forming a lot of viral proteins. Okay, and this kind of ribosome this kind of RNA that uses the host ribosome to form a lot of viral protein is what is known as RDRP, the RNA dependent RNA polymerase. So now we have a lot of proteins being formed and lot of RNA inside, that is viral. So now both of these assemble and form a lot of viral particles inside, and then by the process of budding we have a lot of SARS-CoV-2 daughter viruses that are being released through the type 2 pneumocyte. But not only this happens, during this process there is release of virus particles plus there is destruction of type 2 pneumocyte that is actually causing the alveolar collapse, because these were responsible for formation of surfactant, the type 2 pneumocytes. So this is what happens in the pathophysiology part or in the type 2 pneumocytes. Let's study a bit about the drug targets. So the first drug that we are going to study is that inhibits our ACE2 receptor, and this is the hydroxychloroquine. Okay, so the hydroxychloroquine inhibits our ACE2 receptor and hence prevent the fusion of the virus to the type 2 pneumocytes, preventing the further progression. Another drug is nefemostat that prevents the transmembrane receptor protein, regulatory protein, and this inhibition prevent the fusion of virus to the type 2 pneumocytes and preventing the further progression of disease. The third drug is the favipiravir. Now favipiravir is interesting. It inhibits the ribosome. Okay, that is that is the RDRP. We already studied that these RNA which uses the host ribosome to form the viral proteins are known as RDRP, RNA dependent RNA polymerase, and favipiravir inhibit these. Talking about the fourth drug, these are the premature chain terminators, means before the formation and assembly of the protein, these anyhow inhibit the formation of a daughter uh, assembly, that is with the viral protein and RNA, and these are remdesivir and ribavirin, which are premature chain terminators. And another therapy that and its drug target is the convalescent plasma therapy. Now many studies are claiming that there is no use of this, but still for theoretical purpose, the convalescent plasma provide the antibodies against these SARS-CoV-2 that binds to this virus and prevents the fusion of type 2 with the type 2 pneumocyte, and hence preventing the further progression. Since this disease leads to a lot of inflammation within our lungs, the steroids are one of the immunomodulators that are widely used in this disease. Okay, so these are the some drugs and their targets in the case of COVID-19 disease. Another thing is that COVID-19 leads to increased thrombotic state within the patient, and this may set in a thrombosis in patient. And whenever there is thrombosis, there is an increased level of D dimer. And when we check for this D dimer level, and if it is increased, the treatment also includes use of low molecular weight heparin. So these are some of the drugs and their targets, and conceptually understanding why these drugs are used. So thanks for watching.